Welcome back to IGCSE Biology Chapter 2 Cells Video 4. So far in this chapter we have studied three types of cells, the animal cell, the plant cell and the bacterial cell. But here is something fascinating. Your body alone contains approximately 200 different types of cells and each type has a very specific job to do. Think about it. The cell that carries oxygen in your blood does not look like the cell that lines your airways, and the cell that absorbs water from the soil looks completely different from the cell that carries out photosynthesis in a leaf. This is because each cell has a structure that is perfectly adapted for its particular function. These are called specialized cells. And in this video, we look at 5 of the most important ones you need to know for your IGCSE exam. For each cell, we will look at what it looks like, how its structure is adapted, and what function it carries out. So let's get started. The first specialized cell is the ciliated cell. Look at a diagram. The most striking features, those lines sticking up from the top of the cell, those are called cilia. They are tiny hair-like projections that cover the entire surface of the cells. Where are these cells found? In your trachea, your windpipe, and in the bronchi, the tubes that let air into your lungs. Now, what exactly do these cilia do? Every time you breathe in, you inhale dust, bacteria, pollen, and other harmful particles. These particles get trapped in a sticky liquid called mucus which lines your airways. Then the cilia beat. They move in a coordinated wave-like motion like a Mexican wave and they sweep the mucus upwards towards your throat. You then swallow it and the harmful particles are destroyed by acid in your stomach. This is your first line of defense against respiratory infections. Now look inside the cell. All those orange oval shapes are mitochondria. Those are many more than you would find in a typical cell. Why? Because beating cilia all day long requires enormous amounts of energy. Mitochondria release this energy through aerobic respiration. More cilia to beat, more energy is required, so more mitochondria is present. This is the golden rule for specialized cells. The structure is always directly matched to the function. The second specialized cell is the red blood cell, and this one has some truly remarkable adaptations. Look at the shape. This is called biconcave disc. If you look at it from the side, it is thinner in the middle, pressed in on both sides like a disc with a dimple on each face, and from the top it looks circular. Why this unusual shape? Because it dramatically increases the surface area and more hemoglobin is exposed to oxygen. So the cell absorbs oxygen much faster. Now look inside the cell. There is nothing there. No nucleus, no mitochondria. RBCs actually lost their nucleus during development, and this is a very clever adaptation because the nucleus takes up space. Without it, there is much room for hemoglobin. What is hemoglobin? It is a red pigment that carries oxygen. In the lungs, hemoglobin combines with oxygen forming a substance called oxyhemoglobin. It then travels through the blood to your body tissues where it releases oxygen for cells to use. RBCs are also very small and flexible. This allows them to squeeze through the tiniest blood vessels called capillaries to deliver oxygen to every single cell of your body. Now from the structure, it is very clear that no nucleus, more space, more hemoglobin can be carried out and more oxygen can be carried out by RBC. Structure is perfectly adapted for its particular function. The third specialized cell is the root hair cell, found at the tips of plant roots in the soil. Look at a diagram carefully. The cell has a very long, thin extension. This is a root hair. It grows out from the cell body and pushes between soil particles. Why this long extension? To increase the surface area. The more surface area in contact with the water in the soil, the more water the cell can absorb. Inside the cell body, notice the very large vacuole. This vacuole contains cell sap. Cell sap has a lower water concentration than the water present in soil. Because of this difference in concentration, water moves from soil into the cell by osmosis. We will study osmosis in detail in the next chapter, but for now, just know that water moves from the higher concentration where there is more quantity of water towards a lower concentration where there is less quantity of water. So water is moving from the soil inside the cell. Now a very important exam point. Root hair cells does not have chloroplast. Remember from the video 2, chloroplasts are only found in green parts of the plant. Roots are underground, no sunlight reaches them, no photosynthesis can happen, so there is absolutely no need for chloroplast. Root hair cells absorb two things from the soil: water by osmosis and mineral ions like nitrates by a process called active transport. Now you got to know from the structure of cell that long extension is for surface area, large vacuole for osmosis, no chloroplast because there is no sunlight. Every feature is directly linked to the function. Specialized cell is the sperm cell. Its one job is to reach the egg and fertilize it, and every single part of sperm cell is exactly built for that purpose. Look at a diagram. At the very tip of the head, that amber colored cap, that is acrosome. The acrosome contains enzymes. When the cell reaches the egg, the enzymes digest through the membrane of the egg cell, allowing the sperm to enter and fertilize it. The large dark oval inside the head, that is nucleus. It is packed with DNA, the genetic information that will be passed on to the next offspring. Below the head, the middle section, look carefully, it is packed with mitochondria. The sperm needs energy to swim. It has to travel a long distance through female reproductive tract to reach the egg. All that movement requires continuous energy and mitochondria provided through aerobic respiration. And the long tail, that is called as flagellum. It beats from side to side, propelling the sperm toward the female reproductive tract. Acrosome to enter the egg, nucleus carrying DNA, mitochondria for energy, and flagellum to swim. Everything about the sperm cell is designed for one purpose: to reach the egg and fertilize it. The fifth specialized cell is the Palisade mesophyll cell, found near the top surface of leaves, right where sunlight hits first. Look at diagram. Two things immediately stand out. First, the shape, tall and narrow, like a column. This shape maximizes the surface area of cell that faces upward toward the light, so more light is absorbed. Second, look inside chloroplast. Everywhere, packed in neat rows from top to bottom of the cell has more chloroplast than almost any other plant cell. Why so many? Think about it like this. More chloroplast means more chlorophyll. More chlorophyll means more light energy absorbed. More light energy means more photosynthesis. More photosynthesis means more glucose made for the plant. And the position in the leaf matters too. These cells sit right at the very top of the leaf. These are the first cells that sunlight reaches when it hits the leaf surface. This gives them maximum exposure to sunlight. Tall shape to face the light. Many chloroplasts to absorb as much light as possible, positioned at the top of the leaf to receive the light first. Everything about the Palisade cell is adapted for one purpose: maximum photosynthesis. Now this is examiner trap time. 3 classic mistakes that student makes every year on specialized cell questions. Trap 1. Students write, red blood cells have no nucleus because they are dead. Wrong. RBCs are not dead. They are functioning perfectly. The nucleus was removed during their development deliberately to create more space for haemoglobin so they can carry out more oxygen. They are very much alive and doing their job. Trap number 2. Students write, root hair cells have chloroplast for photosynthesis. Wrong. Root hair cells have absolutely no chloroplast. They are underground. No sunlight reaches them. Photosynthesis cannot happen without light. Root hair cells absorb water and minerals. That is their only function. No light, no chloroplast. Trap number 3. Students write, ciliated cells have many mitochondria just like all cells. This is wrong in the way it is phrased. Yes, all cells have mitochondria, but ciliated cells have many more mitochondria than a typical cell, specifically because the cilia need large amounts of energy to beat continuously. In exam answers, never just state the feature, always link it to the function. Do not just say many mitochondria. Say many mitochondria to provide energy for the cilia to beat. That linking phrase is what earns you the marks. Now here is the complete picture of all 5 specialized cells in one diagram. Screenshot this slide, adaptation and function side by side for every cell, perfect for revision. And remember the golden rule, structure is always adapted for function. In every exam answer, name the adaptation of cell and say why it is there. This is what earns you the full marks. That is video 4 complete. In the next video, we will learn about tissues, organs, organ systems. Subscribe, like and share so you do not miss it. See you in the next one.